Hi, I'm Lindsay Reiser. After a successful launch, Artemis II is in orbit with 4 astronauts on board. The crew is awake after taking what we believe is their second 4-hour nap of the mission so far and preparing for the biggest task of day 2. So right now, mission managers at NASA are deciding whether to proceed with the trans-lunar injection burn. This is a critical step that would send Orion on a free return path around the moon and back to Earth. It is described as the point of no return. So what has been going on since they launched? Well, there was an early issue with the toilet, not a small issue, believe it or not, when they tried to activate it, but it has been fixed. And the crew woke up from their first 4-hour nap to the song Sleepyhead by Young and Sick. And today they will set up their flywheel exercise device where they can row and do curls and other movements. They have to work out for 30 minutes a day to maintain bone density and muscle mass. Former NASA astronaut Leroy Chiao joins us now with more. Thank you so much for being here. So before we get to this burn, Artemis II right now, high Earth orbit, traveling some 40,000 miles above Earth. This is a distance humans haven't achieved since the Apollo missions. Why did NASA choose this elliptical orbit?
Well, this is in preparation for the trans-lunar injection burn. So this is not unlike, launching a high-altitude satellite, communication satellite, for example. And it sets you up very nicely to do a TLI, a trans-lunar injection, to go towards the moon. And so hopefully that decision will be coming soon. It'll be positive. I'm not hearing that they're working any major issues, but the crew is eager, as you might imagine, to get on their way. So it's going to be very exciting to see.
And I want to ask you about something else, because Victor Glover took the reins, test driving Orion for 70 minutes while maneuvering around the spend upper stage of their rocket. So help me understand. Does this mean that Orion and that upper stage are in the same orbit, so he was literally playing Frogger trying to dodge it?
Oh, no. The upper stage is actually attached to the Orion vehicle. And so it's the upper stage that has the rocket engine and the fuel that will do the trans-lunar injection and send them towards the moon.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that for me. So walk us through the decision up to this point. You said that you don't believe that they're tracking any issues. How will flight controllers ultimately determine if it is safe to proceed with that burn?
Right, so they'll be monitoring all the telemetry coming back from both the upper stage and the Orion spacecraft. And as long as there's nothing significant, they'll give the go for the burn, and that will proceed, and they will go out of Earth orbit, escape the Earth's gravity, and go towards the moon.
So this burn is the most consequential. It's the last major engine firing of Artemis II. Are there risks associated with this, or is it just the point of no return?
Well, there's always risk with everything you do, especially in spaceflight, but I wouldn't categorize this as a big risk. The burn should be, pretty routine for injecting things into lunar orbit. In this case, they're not actually going to go into orbit. They're going to do a free return trajectory, which means they're going to swing by the moon and then use the moon's gravity to swing them back around, back towards Earth. So they shouldn't have to do another burn, except maybe a mid-course correction on the way back. But, everything should be pretty predictable from here on out. The biggest question is the re-entry, coming back down to Earth. On Artemis I, 3.5 years ago, engineers discovered that the heat shield had sustained a lot more damage than expected. The crew would have survived if there was a crew on board. But obviously, they spent 3.5 years studying it, coming up with fixes and changes to the trajectory. And so that'll be one of the big tests, is the re-entry, to see how the heat shield does.
And so back to the trans-lunar injection burn, do you know how long that burn is? And then essentially, is it a 4-day cruise to the moon, or are they doing intermittent burns until they get to that far side?
Yes, it's one big burn. It's several minutes. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it'll be that one big burn. And then halfway to the moon, or about halfway to the moon, they'll kind of take their readings, see if they need a mid-course correction, and, a little correction burn. Probably not. During Apollo, we never had to do one, I don't believe. And then they'll swing back on that free return and head back towards Earth.
How excited are you that everything is going as seemingly swimmingly well?
I'm very excited about this mission. Yes, it seems to be going very well, and this is a big shot in the arm for us, for the U.S., because, this is the first time we've launched astronauts this far since the Apollo program. So big deal, the first time in almost 54 years.
Leroy Chiao, thank you so very much for your expertise. We are all watching and waiting to hear what happens next for Artemis II. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.